Thus is another episode in my continuing speculative series on Legends of Tomorrow and Rip Hunter and bringing him back and Wave Rider and all those wonderful, wonderful things. Again, I'm doing this for me, not for anyone else. If you guys enjoy it, fine. But just keep in mind I'm doing this for me. And today's episode, the two episodes I'm going to talk about, the one that aired today and the one that aired last week. Today's episode was awesome. Last week's episode was okay, not great. Rip Hunter could come back being that this guy's trying to hack his technology. And like any good coder, there's probably something to alert him that, hey, you're being hacked. No, Rip's not an idiot. I like how they made him the virus in today's episode. I am kind of curious to see where it goes with that. With the whole going to see a scientist main plot with the rest of the Legends. But this was a pleasant divergence. Anyway, I'm happy they got back almost everyone. They didn't get back Matt Ryan. I think that's his name. The gentleman that does Constantine. They got Rip back, which excites me to no end, which means they could, hypothetically, get him back in the future. Which, another reason that this episode was so amazing was you think there'd be more people complaining and whining behind the scenes, being because of what goes on with Batwoman right now on the set. You know, what they're saying goes on. You know, it just amazed me that they managed to get so many people back. They didn't get Hot Girl back either, which, I don't know. That's okay, but they could have said she got erased in Crisis. Would have put my little. I mean, Mick was kind of back, but I have my doubts that was the actual actor who plays Mick. I think that was just a dummy. I think they tried to fool us with a dummy napping on the floor. Like they did in the original Spider-Man with Sam Raimi. The dummy going across the screen, web slinging. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. I'm not going to point out, in case there are any kids in my audience, it's not inappropriate. It's just, it ruins the magic. And if there's one thing I'm about, it's not ruining magic. You gotta hold on to that innocence for as long as you can. But, Anyway, they showed Rip's death, which you all know how I feel about that. And they referenced Mollis in the previous episode. In that episode they had a bunch of wine bottles, I think it was, all lined up with whiskey. Thank you, Mom. A bunch of whiskey bottles lined up with sticky notes of people that it could be, and they even address, oh, this could be an extra wave rider, that sort of thing. It's fun to see the characters catching up to where we're at right now. And they also reference Mollis, which means they know that Mollis could possibly be undead. And you can't kill the undead. And they said Damien Darhk, which kind of got me thinking, because you know he's going to be in the Armageddon event, which my rumor guy, bless his heart, would have loved. My buddy, Josh, the gentleman that gave me all the rumors that he said were happening, he used to check. He used to be big online. But anyway, he would have loved the Armageddon event. He would have loved simple things like this episode. Or these two, rather. The robot guy being dressed up as J. Edgar Hoover. BTV cartoons. Just, you would have loved it all. It's a shame that he barely saw the Arrowverse become what it is. Anyway, back to the present. I think the episode was amazing. As a fan, I really enjoyed it. They didn't rely too heavily on clips, but the clips they did rely on were significant, like the professor dying and stuff like that. The episode prior, you gotta assume either still going on or going on elsewhere, because this was Spooner and Astra's adventures. Well, they were doing that. Nate, Sarah, and the rest of the crew were all trying to cover for killing J. Edgar Hoover. I think they were there. Either this is what happened when directly after the mission, or this is what happened while they were doing that. either way, the, just the fact there might be two Hoovers was enough for me. It was, yeah. And Gary, you still can't mention the word Hoover around. Yeah, funny stuff. Um, so do I think Rip's coming back anytime soon? Like, no, they just got him for one episode right now. Be happy with what you got. But, I would love to see him come back. And I love the new opening signifying, hey, this is gonna take place in all the eras of the show. It wasn't like one era. It was all the eras dominoing at once. You know? It was every era of all the eras. Okay, that didn't sound right. I know that wasn't right. Every every opening of all the eras of Legends of Tomorrow. Yeah, that's right. Right. So there was no Booster Gold, which I don't know. I am kind of happy about, but you gotta remember, Rip did invent the machine, and like I said before, they could be sitting in a chair somewhere, just watching him on a computer screen, watching the villain on a computer screen, just wondering, okay, when's this clown gonna stop? I mean, as fun as the karaoke moments were, there was a lot of serious, a lot of serious what I missed about the legends. A lot of, okay, we got the business. Enough jokey jokey. Yeah, like I said, I'd be curious to see how the Armageddon's gonna branch out. Let me know if you enjoyed this series as much as I enjoyed, or rather, this episode of this series, as much as I enjoyed this episode of this series. Have you figured out what was up with the J. Edgar Hoover robot? What am I missing here? Um, did you enjoy Victor Garber's little singing number? What do you think? Until next time, I've been your host. Thanks for listening to my ramblings. Two Rip Hunters, Bob out. Nobody's gonna get that joke. There are exceptions. Yeah. I just randomly said, different shirt, different day, but same video. But I guess for you, it would be same shirt, different shirt in the middle. You'll see. Anyway, this is Future Bob saying that something I wanted to say at the very beginning of this video, but forgot to the first time. In the one with the mobsters, Need for Speed, they have Nate take his role a little too seriously at have Nate take his role a little too seriously about being Al Capone. It was really kind of neat. And they have Gary be the wizard instead of Constantine, which part of me wants to know what the heck's up with that. But part of me is like, leave it alone, Bob. So I don't know. And like I say in the video that you're about to watch, they have Zari set out bottles of whiskey for who could be in the Wave Rider. And at the very end, they show robots. That the remaining glass has robots written on it. They kind of play it as a joke at first. But my question isn't, it's who built the robots? White Bishop, which I don't like, I have to refer to him as that. But Marvel already has a Bishop. That guy will never be Bishop in my heart. The guy that's trying to hack Gideon, the Legends of Tomorrow's computer, will never be Bishop. They should just call him something else. But that's neither here nor there. I don't think he's smart enough to build robots and change the... He's not Rip Hunter smart. At most, he is Sinestro smart, where Booster would suggest making the Yellow Lantern Corps on accident. They try to portray him as a villain in the in the second episode I tried to talk about here. But I have trouble taking him seriously. And the reason I'm so weird about this is I could figure out what the name of the one episode is, but the other episode, the first episode is called Need for Speed, and the second episode, all that came up was a bunch of letters and numbers and maybe one phrase, not a name. So it's the one where they bring everybody back. Everybody. And I basically geek out for the next 20 minutes about how great it is, how lovely it was to see Victor Garber again, and half the crew. But what I didn't tell you is that a few things bothered me about the first episode. Like how Zari could only figure out the problem high. I mean, not that I have anything against that, but saying you can only figure out the problem high is like, I hope they rewrite that, or you get to see Rip Hunter's chalkboard. I'm still pulling for the chalkboard too, people. And it turns out that, like I said, someone else built the robot. The thing explodes at the very end of the episode. So we can't figure out who built the robot. They're just piling on more questions with no intent on giving you any answers until the very end. And then they're going to bitch about fans like me saying, oh, wish we would have had ideas before. And we're going to be like, we gave you ideas. So my idea is that Bishop isn't the villain. This is all being caused by a time quake. And Rip Hunter's trying to fix it. And you can throw in the chalkboard some way. Because we never got to see his lab in New Mexico. That's right. His main lab is in Vanishing Point. It's New Mexico. Yeah. So many questions, so little answers. What why did they have to have Gary as the wizard? I don't know. But they did. Um, I'm just a fan, like you guys. And if you're watching this in the future, and you know the answer to who built the robot and why there was two J. Edgar Hoovers, and they've released any more about any of this, feel free to tell me I'm wrong in the comments. I did like the message of when Nate got too serious, and that the one conductor guy on the train said that um basically when if you go looking for enemies, that's all you see. I like that. I thought that was really neat. Um I'd keep that. I like that they had Al Capone's men circle the train. I'd keep that too. But what I wouldn't keep is some of the stuff from the second episode. I'm gonna let me explain to you what I mean by that. But the robot was really freaking cool. How'd I do, Ma?